So these are some ideas that I have about Amazon dropshipping in 2021. I'm Mr. Mark, Excel for Amazon dropshipping, and I do just want to say I'm not proclaiming to be any kind of expert in this area of Amazon dropshipping. So this is based on my experience since I started in 2019, and is based on certain things that I've been seeing, things I've been hearing, and putting that all together is how I came up with some of these different ideas. So please take that into account. Do not necessarily take everything I say as the total truth, but just consider what I'm saying. Now, the first thing is that using obscure suppliers and brands, right? Suppliers and brands that are not very well known. I think this is going to be a good idea, or is a good idea. And I'm not the first person to say this, and this is not necessarily something new, but I think in 2021, it's needed probably even more. All right. And for one, you tend to get less competition if your supplier is less known. If everyone is using Walmart and everyone knows about Walmart, then it's more likely that people will find those Walmart products and begin selling them, right? If they're not already selling them. So there's going to be less competition if the supplier and the brand is less well known. Also, in effect, there's going to be better ROI. And actually, part of this is that it's harder for customers to recognize the source of the product. So what I have seen in some comments on products that I had not really seen before, but I've been seeing it more since the COVID epidemic, is I've seen customers saying, hey, you can get this cheaper at this particular other store, at Walmart or whatever the store is. I've actually seen that I've seen that in reviews. So when you're using a supplier that is known by everyone, after a while, as buyers and shoppers are getting more and more aware, and they have more time to shop because they're at home more and they're doing nothing but online shopping, and they're becoming better at it, it's easy for them to locate the product on Walmart when it comes from Walmart. But when it comes from a source that no one really knows about, it's more difficult for them to locate the product, or less likely for them to even do that or try to locate that product at the source, right? So it might not be a major thing, but it's something I've thought about. It's an idea that I have. The other thing is that it is deemed generally to be safer to use, these less famous suppliers. And this is not really like my own original idea or anything. I've just, in fact, I've heard a lot from other much larger sellers on YouTube. But I've also heard from actual sellers who contact me and talk to me, saying that, hey, my account has been suspended. And when I have that conversation, they're usually using Walmart and Home Depot on this new account. And I've heard it said by by major figures in Amazon dropshipping that it's not suggested for you to use these kinds of suppliers on a new account. You're likely to get suspended. So another reason why you need to go, I think, in 2021 with more obscure suppliers, right? Dropshipping is already very risky for your Amazon account, truthfully, especially with a new account today, more so than when I started in 2019. It was safer at that time. So a lot of things have changed. Now, manual inventory and repricing. Well, what I'm getting at here is that when you use these obscure suppliers, a lot of times they might not work with software. Now, SKUGrid has tons of suppliers, I think hundreds, but still you might find a profitable supplier and a brand and they're just not on SKUGrid, right, or on any software because they're not well. And actually that can be a good thing too, because if it's not on a software, it's harder for people to find that supplier. It's less likely that they're going to use it because a lot of people do not want to do anything manual with dropshipping at all, right? They want everything to be run by software. And so they're just not going to even use it. They're going to say, nah, and just not use that supplier. That's going to keep your competition low and your ROI higher from that supplier. Okay, so consider doing manual inventory and repricing from suppliers that are not on software. What you can do is use my Excel system. I have an Excel system which is fairly popular on this channel. So that's my complete store manager. You can use that to manage your products manually just to check up on them, but you still have to go ahead and update the prices okay, and the inventory on Amazon. By the way, you can do that in bulk by doing a bulk upload, and I have a video, I believe, yes, on this channel that shows you how to upload using a CSV to Amazon in bulk, or how to update your products in bulk. So that's something you can do, or you can individually go to each listing, but you have to learn the whatever is necessary to do this business, right? And that might be one of the things you need to learn how to do, is how to do CSV upload and upload your inventory or prices in bulk, right? Nothing about that's actually good about doing manual inventory and repricing is that it's actually good in that it can save you money potentially, so that if you're using some, now I'm not saying you shouldn't use any suppliers with software, but maybe you can do some with software like SKUGrid, and then maybe you can do some manually on your own. And actually, when I started in 2019, I actually started totally manually, and I used very obscure suppliers that probably nearly no one knows about. And one of them even requires you to pay a membership to even order anything from them. Like, if you don't get the membership, you can't even use them at all. And so, it was so obscure that I was able to get good ROIs on that. So it can be done. You can do it manually. I never had any problems with not being able to fill an order. If you do it safely, you keep your quantities low so that you do a small number of orders at a time from that for each product, you can do it all manually. It can be done. All right. Now, consider selling used condition, right? And now, this is something I've done personally, so it's not just an idea. I mean, all of these ideas I'm talking about, I've done actually. So, I think that selling used condition, I'm going to use the word think. I believe that it will help to avoid Amazon documentation requests. Okay, because you're not selling it new. When you say that you sell something new on Amazon, I don't think everyone really understands that. When you say it's new, Amazon, I believe, assumes that you should have all the necessary documentation for that product, because you should be getting it from an official source, a manufacturer, authorized, distributor, right? So I think when you sell something in used or even collectible, which is basically not new condition, that this gives you a good excuse not to have documentation if they were to ask for it for a used product. I think this is you can actually say, hey, it's used, right? I'm concerned though that if you were to sell a large number of units, that it might be obvious that it's not used. But I don't know that Amazon even I don't know that Amazon even looks at that or not. So again, this is an idea. I mean, I have done it. I've sold things in used condition and I've successfully sold them, or collectible. And a lot of times I did it because I had to, because they would not, that listing wouldn't allow me to sell it in new condition. So now one kind of downside of it, why people don't like to do this, is because generally you're going to have to offer a lower price, right? So, and it's not like you're actually selling used products. They're actually in new condition from the supplier, but you're just listing it as used. But you're still forced to offer a lower price, because from the buyer's impression, or the buyer's viewpoint, it's a used, it's not new. Right now, keep in mind, however, when you list used, you can do used like new. And also when you list used, you have a box where you can put a comment. And you can actually put in there, in that comment, hey, this product is totally unused. It's still new in the box. It has never been used. You can actually do that. And I found that helps to encourage a sale on that product, right? So it's just something to consider, selling in used condition, all right? Now, one thing too is that it can still be profitable, because if the ROI at the new price is high, let's say it's like a really high ROI. Let's say you calculate the ROI at 40%. Well, if you sell used, maybe you might have to take 30%. You're still getting a great ROI, even though you're doing it lower, significantly lower than the other sellers, right? And another thing is that those other sellers probably won't they won't actually probably lower their price to compete with you because they're selling it new and you're used, so they don't even pay attention to you, right? People ignore you when you're selling used and they're selling new. They feel like you're not even on the same level, right, for that product. So what happens is they won't compete with your price, but there are certain buyers who just want to buy what's cheapest, and they'll see that you have that lower price and they will just buy it even though it says used, especially used like new, right, with a good comment on it. So just something to consider. I think it's generally safer, all right, and it also depends on the product. Certain types of product, this goes over better with certain types of products than it does with others, right? Some products people don't mind as much when it says used as others, right? So something to consider. Now, another thing I'd like you to really consider and think about, and it's an idea that I've thought about, is that dropshipping is actually an order fulfillment method. And why am I saying this? Well, the point is that it's really just a method of getting an order to a customer directly from a third-party supplier. And so, although dropshipping can be a primary business model for sellers, and when I started selling on Amazon, it was my only business model. It's all I did was dropship. But I think if you're doing dropshipping and that's all you do on Amazon, you need to consider, or on any marketplace, that you're not just a dropshipper or in the dropshipping business, right? So I think sometimes I feel like people get so caught up in just the dropshipping aspect that they forget that actually you're a seller is what you are, right? You're in the business of selling products, right? And that might just this might sound like I'm just getting involved in semantics here or something, but I think it really is like a state of mind where I might think of myself as just a drop shipper, right? When actually you're a seller and you're in the business of selling products, right? And realizing that you really should consider other fulfillment methods as well on Amazon. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop or completely abandon dropshipping, but the fact of the matter is FBA is also a very powerful thing. And as I got more into FBA, I decreased my dropshipping, and also I did more regular fulfill by merchant where I ship items directly to customers. Now I'm in the US, selling in the US, so that's a much easier thing for me to do. If you're in another country trying to sell in the US, I understand the challenge because of the distance, but still there are people that can do that as well, right? I don't know much about that because I've never sold from another country into the US, so I can't really help you with that per se as of the date of this video. But the point is you should really consider these other options. You have prep centers here in the US where you can do retail arbitrage, where you can buy still from suppliers, online stores. And you can have the products processed at the prep center, and the prep center sends them into Amazon warehouse so that you can sell FBA, right? And if you're right here in the US, selling in the US, you can actually buy from online stores, pack and ship the products directly to the Amazon warehouse from your home or from your warehouse or wherever you operate, right? And you can do your FBA that way. So consider these other methods, even if you start with one product, because it's a whole business, right, of selling products, and there are different ways of doing it. Okay, so those were my ideas for Amazon dropshipping in 2021. Again, I'm Mr. Mark Excel, and this is the Excel for Amazon dropshipping channel. And again, I just want to reiterate, not claiming to be any kind of expert. This was based on my experience, the patterns and things that I'm seeing, things that I've heard from others, and these are just a few ideas that I came up with that I think might be some things to really consider if you're going to do dropshipping, or if you're doing dropshipping in Amazon dropshipping in 2021, because there have been significant changes in Amazon, the strictness level, and the request for documentation, or just all these other things. And it's just there's some things that I think people who want to do this business need to really consider. Okay, so anyway, if you have any comments or any suggestions or anything, just leave them below in this video. Tell me what you think about these ideas, right? Because again, they're just ideas, but they're also based on some practical experience, right? And some of these ideas are things I've actually have executed personally, right? And I've had at least some success with some of it, right? But how it applies to you in your particular situation might be another story, right? So I mean, that might be so just any comments or anything that you can leave on this, and I may have something linked here, maybe a PDF version of these ideas might be linked or something in the description of this video, so just check the links to see what's down there. And also I should have some other video on using more obscure suppliers. So and you know, if I can find some that I think are good for drop shipping, I'll be trying to share those potentially with you. So anyway, Mr. Mark Excel for Amazon drop shipping, and I'll see you around on the channel, email, YouTube, Facebook, or just see you around in another video.